GatorSports.com.
Welcome to our latest Swampcast. Obviously, we're here in New Orleans at the Marriott. We're just in there, right over there. We saw Urban Meyer's press conference a couple nights ago. Usually when we're at a bowl game, I can't believe how fast it goes by, Robbie, but this one I feel like I've been here a month.
It does feel like a couple of weeks, Pat. It started, the minute we landed on Saturday evening.
I think it was, yeah.
And it just has gone on from there. And you mentioned that press conference. I've never seen, in person, he looked fine. But then you go back and look at the tape of that, and he looked like he was tired or had been really, sick.
Yeah, but in person, yeah. And people were all saying, God, he looked terrible. I'm like, no, he didn't. But that's, I guess TV takes 10 pounds away from Urban Meyer. But, it's just been a bizarre week. And I don't know. I was telling somebody, I go, believe it or not, there's going to actually be a football game played here.
I mean, nobody's even talked about the football game. They've not talked about matchups. All we've talked about is interim coaches that are leaving, Charlie Strong, Adazio.
Their coach is leaving after the game. Their other coach isn't here. Their coach is here who's not coaching.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, it's been pretty normal. But, it's been crazy. And, it'll be interesting to see which team shows up mentally on this game, because both these teams have reasons to lay eggs. And they also both have plenty of motivation. Florida does not want to end the momentum and have the momentum go the other way. They don't want to send Tim Tebow out a loser. They don't want to possibly send Urban Meyer out a loser. Cincinnati is 1 second away from playing for the national title. They want to show people they belonged. And you get that sense from them that this is their chance on a big stage.
Yeah, the thing that burns with them, I think, Pat, is that Orange Bowl loss last year. They had their chance to do something on the big stage, and they kind of fumbled it away. And that, to them, has been what's driven them in the offseason, kind of like the Georgia game did last year for Florida or the year before for Florida, and what it did for Alabama against Florida this year. So they're a team that's very, very much driven and hungry at this point, despite all that's gone on with them.
And especially Tony Pike threw 4 picks in that game against Virginia Tech last year. They scored on their first possession, and they never scored again. So, that's what they say. And, again, we sit here and we talk to all the players about this, that, and the other, and they're all saying the right things, but you have no idea what it's going to be like. You have no idea how many of them are going to party too hard on Bourbon Street. We've seen plenty of them down there.
They've been down there, no question.
Don't want to mention any names, but there's been plenty of activity by the student athletes, I should say.
Yeah, but they've been, as far as we know, they've been well behaved so far.
So far, nobody's gotten in a fight or broken a glass on anybody's face or anything like that.
Yeah,
so it's been
we've had a couple of those before here.
Yeah,
so.
Uneventful from that standpoint. But, hey, it's been crazy. It's been wild, but there'll be a game. Let's go ahead and break it down, Robbie. What's your gut on how Florida and Cincinnati match up?
Well, I think Cincinnati is a great offensive team, great passing with Pike. But I think Florida is really wants to rebound from that pitiful performance against Alabama. And you talk to the players, they said, you look at the tape, they did not miss assignments and get out of gaps all year like they did in that game, and they just played awful. And I mean, they want to prove they're a better defense than that. And I think the overall speed Florida has is going to cause some problems for that offense.
Yeah, the speed. You look at Cincinnati's defense too, and it's not very good. And I'm in there interviewing some of their linebackers, and they're not very big.
No.
And you're wondering, okay, can they make up for it in other areas? But they're not that fast. So I would think Florida's offense could have a field day with them. But the question I have, and this is, if you could answer this question for me right now, I would give you an answer. Will the juniors play hard, or will they protect themselves? The guys who know they're going out, and there's a lot of them, are they going to go out there and go, I'm going to show the NFL how good I am, or are they going to go out there and go, just don't get hurt, just don't get hurt?
Yeah, I think it's tryout time, though, Pat, like it was for Moss a couple of years ago in the 2006 championship game.
That was.
Remember that? Charlie Strong was telling you that he was just a beast in practice, and it paid off. And by all indications, the coaches are saying the practice has been really good, really intense. So, can they carry it over to the game now? Yeah,
well, it'll be bizarre. I'm sure something weird's going to happen in the game. Tornado, hurricane, something.
No.
Snow, yeah. Something weird will happen because it's been the season of the weird, and this week really was the perfect capper for it.
The only thing that was almost cool is that something else happened big across the country that took attention away from here. I mean, I feel bad for Mike Leach and all those involved in that, but it was kind of a relief around here.
Yeah, Urban Meyer may send a letter to Mike Leach in a fruit basket and say, thanks for taking the heat off me. But, of course, even then, today, there was a big 911 calls were released and all that happened. So, yeah, it's just strange, man.
But it will go on after this, Pat, because when's Urban come back? Is he coming back?
This is a story
that's going to go on and on and on, yes.
It's a story that would never-ending story, and we'll see if it does eventually, and we'll see what happens with recruiting, and we'll see what happens with everything else. Most of all, we'll see what happens with the game Friday night.
Yeah, and then go from there with everything else.
And then we'll come back to you live, or not live. What is it?
Semi-live.
Taped from the Superdome floor, I'm sure, after the game, and tell you what we saw. No idea. None. Zero. Got no feel for this game. And we'll just find out.
Does anybody have a feel, though, Pat?
No,
really,
I don't think anybody does.
No.
Nobody does. But until then, Robbie, Andreu, Pat, Dooley, Gainesville Sun, so long.
Not from the Sunshine State.
Where are we?
We're in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
So long from New Orleans. Who dat?